Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're listening from. Here is extreme news coming from Lagos Live with your man, Raf Tresvant. I hope you are getting, the information this early morning that a high court anyway in either Bayelsa or Rivers State has actually nullified the validity of the sole administrator newly appointed by Tinubu the detector this year. It was obvious that the sitting governor Fubara of Rivers State was sacked by federal government of Nigeria under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a governor that was democratically elected. He has the veto power to oversee the affairs, general affairs of Rivers State, was sacked based on what has transpired between Wike, the super politician of Rivers State. He descended on his political son. That's Nwike, a political godfather to Fubara, actually championed the sacking, that is suspension, of SIMILAYE Fubara, a governor under PDP political platform that won an election from the back door anyway, but we have seen that man accepted generally by the Igbos. I mean the Juarez, the Igochas, the Eches, all the component tribes of Rivers State, they actually accepted him later when they obviously found out that Wike wanted to shout down on him, dominate him, bully him as a political godfather. And this was what Wike stood against before when he actually won an election. He turned his back on Amechi, his political godfather, because he doesn't want to be under anybody, under the control or apron string of Chibuike Amechi of Rivers State. He fought Chibuike Amechi, even when Chibuike Amechi was having federal might over him as a minister of transportation during Mohammed Buhari administration. Two of them, I mean Chibuike Wike and Chibuike Amechi, and the Nyesom Wike had serious physical altercation, political altercation, fighting themselves like cats and rats. And whom actually carried the day was Wike. The whole riverines in Rivers State supported Wike with everything they have, from their bottoms of their hearts. And actually, Wike began the race of ruling, controlling, overseeing the general affairs of the government of Rivers State. And he actually, if you ask me, did well. There was much money then in the state. That's an oil-producing state. The state that has been feeding Nigeria from 1970s. After the oil exploration in the Niger State, Rivers State was the engine economy of Nigeria. So Wike, with that influence, with that advantage, natural endowment given to that state by God, actually piloted the affairs economically and politically of that state, and he did well. Today, he wanted to force himself, a political godfather, on SIMILAYE by rigging election, rigging out PDP, giving victory to SIMILAYE Fubara. And today, we've seen him trying to press the sitting governor down, control him, manipulate him. All the list he came forward, presented before Fubara as, in political appointment of that state, both commissioners, councillors, local government chairmen were brought by Nyesom Wike to Fubara. And what happened? Fubara actually appointed all his choices, the choices he's made in terms of local government, chairman, chief, election, all the people that Wike penciled down as his own choices were actually elected. Based on appointment, they were actually appointed by this governor. What else is it that Wike is actually looking for again in Rivers State? He wants to at least stir up the desire, the fire of godfatherism, which he turned his back against again during SIMILAYE's regime. And this gentleman or young man actually respected him and adhered to all his instructions. The issue now actually get out of hand when Fubara refused to be bullied. Because Nwike, in conjunction with the federal might, actually want to turn everything about democratic, let me say, norms in that state. He want to turn it to his own Nyesom Wike political dynasty of River State. That was how Fubara actually wanted to, show him that he is a man. So like I was saying, what does it pain Wike to still play godfatherism when he has earlier on or previously turned his back on that kind of system? The same system that brought serious animosities, antagonism between Wike, and the Chibuike Amaechi in the past, to the level that they often had altercation anytime both convoy of the River State governor and the convoy voice of the federal minister of transportation, Chibuike Amaechi, they often had altercation. That was in those days during the administration of Major General Buhari. It is the same system that Wike tacitly pursues now to play a godfatherism role to Fubara, Governor Fubara, an errand boy he groomed, he trained politically. He could not give him presently a breathing space. What does that underline? It actually has gone a long way to tell the whole world how greedy, ravenous are Nigerian political godfathers, especially the southern political godfathers are wolves, if you ask me, in cheap skins. In the north today, we actually know that most of the politicians there are being sponsored. But my question is, why is it that after sponsoring their, errand boy, political sons, they could not even appear to make themselves known to the members of the public that they are the one behind the success of a particular governor or governors in the northern region? We've never seen one appear and become a thorn or thorns on the fleshes of their political godfathers. You understand my explanation? What I mean is that all these for that godfatherism wars, fight, altercations we have in the southern Nigeria here is so rampant, much more rampant than their, north region, counterparts. They have political godfathers in Kano, in Kaduna, in Zamfara, in Yobe, but they don't come forward to torment their political sons. You could not even know that someone sponsored Professor Zolom governorship, someone groomed him, trained him. Who is the person? Where is he? Nobody actually knows. Because these political godfathers, they stay at the back door. They don't come forward to at least torment, disturb, bully their political godson. Why? I don't know. Maybe because their religion forbid it, as I say. These people, I don't think they run religion. They run this kind of brotherhood of the cross, cult of a thing. That's why they don't come forward to torment someone that they groomed, someone that they trained, politically to control the affairs of a particular state. No, it's not rampant in the north. It is only in the southeast, in the southwest, in the south. You can see this kind of, political, let me say, battle, war going on and on and on and all that. Each and every regime that comes, you will see someone, Mr. Okeke fighting Mr. Emeka, Adenka fighting Kayode because of over this political godfatherism of a thing. When you groom somebody, you made him whom he is. You allow him to perform in that particular state. And after all, he is trying to fulfill that purpose for which he or she is elected into the office of governorship. Allow him to perform. If he performs, you must be one of the beneficiaries. If not you, your children, your communities, your contemporaries. Why tormenting your political godson? I mean, political jingoists in the south. I pose this question only for them, not their northern counterparts. Because I've seen that someone that sponsored Ngige could not allow Ngige a breathing space. That was 2002, 2003. No, 2003. Election in Anambra State was war. Because some persons, I make up for the Obas, they were the pivots behind Ngige's success, and Ngige emerged as a winner. While he did not win, actually they helped him to truncate the effort of APGA, gubernatorial aspirant Peter Greg Obi, who actually truncated Ngige's, term or mandate at Enugu High Court. When Ngige actually even came out and prophesied, confessed that Obasanjo, the Obas, the Emeka Force, they actually rigged out APGA in Anambra State. That it was APGA that actually won. That was the first victory secured by any ruling governor in Nigeria. That was Ngige. And it has generally, asserted that Ngige is like Mpolaku, Mpolon Sinafo Chike. Mwakuku bere na Ngige. Ona agbo Ngige na agbo. Ngige was a very impossible governor then. He actually fought it, slug it out with the then Nigerian president, President Matu Olusegun Obasanjo. They fought it out. They fought it out to purity. Ngige did not give Obasanjo a breathing space, but actually he said the truth and at least bowed before Obi. He bowed out and Obi took over the administration of Anambra State, and as you could see, that was what brought Obi to the political limelight for the world to see. The best man who should have been the head of the current administration going on in Nigeria. We have many stories to tell. So what am I trying to say? The godfatherism that Wike fought against Obi's administration is what Wike is trying to bring back to Rivers State. And he actually semi-succeeded. Why? It is the court this time around of law that actually gave victory to the sitting governor, actually elected by the people of Rivers. But we've not seen what is going to play out at the Supreme Court. It's going to be a dramatic Supreme Court hearing, because Supreme Court might prove to the whole world that Supreme Court belongs to federal government of Nigeria. That is Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his APC-led failure party. And I'm telling you that all said and done, we actually know that these people are going to appeal. They must appeal. But what I'm asking Abbas or Abbas, equate a court, an administrator that, comes from Calabar extraction. What is your own Oga naval officer? This is a civilian regime dispensation. It has to do with the people's mandate, the people's representatives, the people's right, their votes. It is the request of the people that SIMILAYE should be there. Actually, we actually have seen that his political godfather has turned his back on him. But allow the people's will, the people's mandate, the people's choice, at least to excel. Oga administrator, leave that place. I beg. Oga administrator, leave that place. Live there. For the people of the riverines to breathe air at least one time. For the unjust to actually rule or be in charge of the political affairs of that state, River State. The just have never been there. Has it not occurred to you that you are infringing on someone's fundamental right? A sitting governor. A sitting governor has never been removed in the history of democracy in America. The people that started our modern democracy and the federalism of 18 at the United States in 1776, when they elected George Washington, actually he performed well. They would have loved him to rule like 5 times. Yes, each tenure he won because he was a good man. Nigeria, was this how George Washington carried the Americans down the first time when democracy took its place perfectly on earth? No, George Washington was the manest man of all the Americans, and he fought the war of Americans for the Americans, United States of America for the Americans, and they form a very strongest union, very strong concrete union that is carrying them along Americanism. That actually nearly brought George Washington to rule USA 5 times, 5 tenures, nearly, because of good governance, good performances he put in place in that country. I'm telling you, Nigeria, we are not getting it right. Tinubu, you are not getting it right. Nyesom, Wike, you are dancing about the bush. You are beating about the bush and you are dancing about the bush. Allow the man whom you rigged in with all your money strength to be. This time around, the people has turned against you, that they actually embraced and needed Fubara to carry on with the affairs of that state, River State. In fact, it has done on you that the court of law has actually expelled this kind of wrong choice you made for the riverines. How could someone, a military administrator, be imposed on the people that went to the poll and casted vote for their choice, their right choice? Time has come for every political canal in Nigeria to understand that game is up. Nigerians this time around understand what they want. And when you turn your back on them, they are going to come out en masse against you. Remember, you APC juggernaut, time shall come when Nigerians will turn to Nnamdi Kanu's. Nigeria will be dreaming dreams like Shore Omoyele. Times shall come when all the APC juggernauts will pick race, their luggages and baggages, and find their way into Sambisa Forest. They will all run. I'm telling you, run, it is dangerous. Nigerians are growing on daily basis on the faces of multidimensional hardship and poverty. And this is giving Nigerians the impetus, the strength to bear certain things, to resist the irresistible. Time shall come when all the political juggernauts troubling Nigerian nation currently will find their ways out, running for their lives until they find themselves, maybe in Sambisa Forest. But what I'm trying to say is that, is it virtually good for a sitting governor elected by his people be removed abruptly like that? Is it a democratic process? Is this not a coup d'etat, if you ask me? SIMILAYE was actually ousted by Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government, and that is uncalled for. That is undemocratic. That is very, very unlawful. It brings anarchy. And we are seeing anarchy ahead because Oga Sole Administrator Abbas has been giving his way out. The doors are open for you. Go! You are expected to get out of that office. River State government office is not for you. It's not for the military. It's for the civilians. Civilian governor, someone who is the right choices of the riverines. His name is SIMILAYE Fubara. He is back according to court of law. We hope the government of the day, federal government of Nigeria under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not cause this contempt. He will not disobey the courts. As he disobeyed the court that actually freed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerians, are you sure this man is not going to disobey the court? The ruling is in favor of Fubara now. Is Eba, the sole administrator, not eating the sweet sugar cake? Ego. Are you people sure Mr. Eba, the sole administrator, is going to bow out so easily with much altercation, conflict, and resistance? Anyway, we keep our hands, fingers crossed. We are looking, watching the political stage of the riverine states, Rivers State. Let us see how they are going to dance the dance. Maybe left angle or flank side, or maybe right angle flank side. That is the positive way. It is left for the sole administrator to bow out. Oga Eba, the door is open. You can get out from there. That place is not for you. We are Nigerians. We are Biafrans, we are the Igbos, we are the Yorubas, we are the Calabaris, we are the Hausas originally. We know what we want. We are not zombies like the Fulanis. Go! The door is open. Thank you for watching. It is Extreme News TV with your man, Ralph Tresvant. You are welcome all.